In the towering Maiken financial building, a single-father janitor faced ridicule. Translate this text, they taunted, and my salary is yours. His response left them stunned. Ahmed Khan, a man in his 40s, wore a faded blue uniform, pushing a creaky cleaning cart through the office each night. His eyes were weary, his hands calloused from labor, yet he carried a folded photo of his daughter, Zara, tucked close to his heart. Ahmed wasn't uneducated, he was weighed down by duty. Once a brilliant linguistics scholar at a top university, he'd abandoned his studies when his wife passed away, leaving him to raise their newborn daughter alone. Night shifts paid the bills, his dreams put on hold. But one night, everything changed. It was nearing midnight in the 24th floor break room. A group of smug interns, fueled by energy drinks and bravado, were showing off for Saba, the newest recruit. They noticed Ahmed quietly mopping near the window. "Hey, janitor." Usman, one of the interns, called out with a mocking grin. "Want to earn my whole paycheck in 1 second." Laughter echoed. Ahmed looked up, silent. Usman held up his phone, displaying a block of ancient-looking text. This came from a client's encrypted archive. Latin, maybe Greek. "Translate it, and I'll pay you on the spot." He chuckled, clearly joking. "I'll even Venmo you." Saba looked uneasy. "Usman, stop it." Ahmed set his card aside, took the phone, and studied the text. Then, in a calm, clear voice, he translated every word flawlessly. The interns stared, dumbfounded. "No way," one muttered. But Ahmed wasn't done. He spoke fluent ancient Greek, then translated it into French, German, and finally Mandarin, each word precise, without a trace of accent. The room fell silent. Saba gasped, "Who are you?" Ahmed handed the phone back with a faint smile. "Just a dad who didn't finish his PhD," he said softly. "But I remember what I studied." Usman's jaw dropped. "You just decoded part of a dead client's legal will. We've been stuck on that for weeks." A voice cut in. "Is that the translation?" Mr. Faisal, the company's vice president, emerged from his corner office. He reviewed the phone, then looked at Ahmed. "Where did you learn this?" Ahmed replied simply, "University of Lahore, Linguistics and Classics." Before life got in the way. Faisal's face went blank for a moment, then turned serious. The next day, Ahmed didn't bring his mop. He was seated in the executive boardroom, facing lawyers, coffee, and a contract. The firm wanted him badly. They offered him a position as a senior translation consultant, doubling Usman's salary, with flexible hours for Zara and a full scholarship for her future education. All because a man mocked for his job stood tall for a moment. Months later, Ahmed drove Zara to her new private academy, a school she'd dreamed of attending for years. As she kissed him goodbye and ran inside, a few parents glanced at the man in a sharp suit by his car. They didn't know he once scrubbed their office floors. Ahmed didn't care. He'd already turned sacrifice into opportunity, and his work was far from over. The story spread like wildfire through Maiken Financial. By Monday morning, everyone had heard about the janitor who spoke ancient Greek. Whispers filled elevators, shocked that the man they'd ignored every night had skills surpassing their elite educations. Ahmed didn't walk in with a swagger. He arrived with a briefcase, a calm demeanor, and a promise to himself: stay true, but change the room you're standing in. In his first week, he decoded hundreds of archived documents that had stalled million-dollar deals. His translations were meticulous, thoughtful, and unmatched by any AI. Ahmed didn't just know languages. He understood context, nuance, and culture, making him invaluable. Usman, the intern who'd mocked him, began spiraling. He couldn't stand that Ahmed had taken his place on the project and was now invited to executive meetings. During a staff presentation, Usman sniped, "Funny how cleaning floors qualifies someone for a six-figure job." The room went awkwardly silent. Ahmed met his gaze calmly, then slid a printed document across the table. It was a complex legal clause in an obscure Roman dialect. one the firm had misinterpreted for years. Ahmed's correct translation revealed they'd nearly voided a $14 million contract. The board applauded. Usman was asked to leave the room. One rainy evening, as Ahmed packed up, a woman waited in the lobby. She wore a brown coat, her hands nervous. "Are you Ahmed Khan?" she asked. "I'm Professor Rukhsana Begum, your old linguistics professor from the University of Lahore." Ahmed froze. "I read about you in the news. I had to see for myself." They sat in a nearby cafe, catching up. Rukhsana's eyes teared up as she listened. "You were my best student. I always believed in you. I'm sorry the system failed you." Ahmed shook his head. "It didn't fail me. Life just rerouted me." She smiled, then made an unexpected offer. "I'm starting a global studies institute with remote mentorship programs. We need someone like you, not just for your knowledge, but for your story." Ahmed was stunned. "I just wanted a job to support Zara," he said. Rukhsana replied gently. "And now you're building a path for others who were forgotten." Months later, Ahmed gave a guest lecture at the university he'd once dropped out of. Students leaned in, captivated, as he unraveled ancient languages and shared stories of resilience. At the end, one student asked, "Professor Khan, what was your greatest translation?" Ahmed smiled softly. "My life," he said. "I took something complex, grief, sacrifice, failure, and rewrote it into something meaningful." For years later, Zara graduated as valedictorian. In her speech, she pointed to her father in the front row. "He turned a mop into a key," she said, "and unlocked a future he never gave up on."